Hey everybody, it's Kathy Weiss. Welcome to Monday Messages and this week's live intuitive reading. I am coming to you live from my reading room here on the central coast of California. And if you're someone who is new to me, just getting to know me a little bit, I am a highly sensitive intuitive. That means that I read and interpret your energy and deliver the messages that you need to hear most right now. I utilize the skills of clairvoyance, which is where I see images. So I interpret the subtle energy coming off of your body and sometimes from spirit guides. And just from the divine universe. And so sometimes that is interpreted through images, and sometimes I hear words, which is called clairaudience, and I directly just interpret and say word for word what I'm hearing to you. So I'm delivering guidance, and you have free will to follow the guidance or not. But what I'm hearing is that the messages that people receive are really reaffirming. They give a lot of clarity, and that for the people who do follow the guidance, they see radical and dramatic improvements in their vitality and in their life. So before I get into pulling a name out of my Mad as a Hatter teacup, there are a lot of names in here today, at least a dozen, maybe more. Or maybe right at a dozen. I counted at some point and lost count. But before I pull the name out, there's a couple of really important things I need to say to you today. So it's just about 12:30 Pacific time right now. And a little more than 2 hours ago, as I was just coming in from walking my co-host, Agnes, who's over here chilling out, I heard really strongly and loudly, "Hey, Kathy, I'm freaking out right now." And I don't know who that was. It's somebody who's in the hat today. But when I went to see if I could tell who it was, there were too many people that had put their name in all at the same time for me to be able to distinguish who that was. But the person who is freaking out, over the last 2 hours, it's been getting louder and louder and stronger to where it's feeling like hysteria or terror. So if that's you, if you're freaking out and you really feel like you need me and you need some guidance and your name doesn't come out of the hat today, will you either comment or private message me, and I'll at the very least shoot you a discount code so that we can get the messages that you need delivered. Yeah, because it's really pretty intense today. And then also really intensely, it's a very interesting day energetically going on, y'all. Right before I sat down to do the live video, as I was like shuffling the decks because I don't know which deck we're going to use today, someone's energy came to me who's really sad. They are not in the cup. It's someone who wished they had put their name in but was fearful or has been thinking about it and just hasn't done it. And it's somebody who knows me personally. So if you're someone who you and I have never met in person, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about somebody who knows me good-ish. We've like hung out in the world a couple of times together. And there's a lot I could say about this sadness, but again, if that's you, I'm highly encouraging you to private message me, and let's go ahead and set up a private customized reading for you, because the sadness is confusing you and you definitely needing some guidance, and I want to take care of you. Okay, lastly, I am so right about to get into whoever is going to win today's reading, but what I'm also feeling encouraged today is that there are so many names, and obviously only one of them can come out. And if it's not your name that comes out, whether you're watching the video live or you end up watching it later, you're being asked to watch the whole video, because for several of you, this is going to help clarify for you whether or not you do want to work with me privately. So some of you, you're like, I'm not sure. I don't know if I want to do that or not. And this is going to let you know. So this is going to show you how I work, how I receive guidance and pass the guidance. I'm kind of like spiritual UPS man. So I get the package, I deliver the package to you. Is how I think of it. So some of you, this video is just 100% clarity, and afterwards you're going to feel ready to contact me for a private customized reading, and some of you aren't, and that's fine, but you're being asked to watch the whole thing in order to help you reach that decision. And it's like super urgent that we need to get into this today, so no more fluffy stuff. Anybody, whether this is you or anyone else, if you have questions or comments during the live video, please put them down there. Oh my gosh, can you hear that gonging sound, gonging, dinging bell sound with this gorgeous reclaimed scuba diving tank turned into a beautiful wind chime, and there's enough breeze out there today that it's really talking. So I got my eyes closed and planned out a name. There's so much intense energy in the teacup today that if this is not you, I may be reaching out to you anyway and pausing. Okay, I'm hearing that this one is okay. It may not be the super intense one, but that this one is okay. So this is Heather. Oh my goodness, Heather, number one, thank you for putting your name into the teacup hat today. Heather, if you are watching live and you want to just give me a little shout out down here, that would be great. And if not, it's all good. You'll watch it later and then you can let us know what you thought about your reading. So Heather, and for everyone who's new to watching me, prior to the video, for every single person who put their name in, I quickly do, this is a mini energy reading. It's just a couple of sentences of what I was picking up off of your energy. And I just write some notes. And what's interesting, I'm just going to grab someone and cover the name. Let's see one that's a pretty good example. So I usually write really tight with a lot of descriptive words. And Heather, what was so interesting for you is that everything is much more spaced out. It's very neat, and it's not even complete sentences. It was just like word, 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 word. So I'm going to go ahead and just read for you the words that came up. And then we'll get into a little bit more guidance out of one of the decks. So right away, Heather, when I wrote down your name, I heard bumblebee. And it actually repeated several times. It was like bumblebee, bumblebee, bumblebee. And then spirit guide, or maybe this is spirit animal, but I heard the word spirit guide. Then I heard a buzzing sound, like the sound of the bee. And then this next little bit was all clairaudient. So these are words that I heard, and I'm just going to read them to you. Notice, listen, slow down, stop, pay attention. You're not seeing what is right in front of you. Now, allow this to happen. Allow this to unfold. We love you. Amen. And that was the whole message. So I'm hoping, Heather, that some of this is making sense to you, because there wasn't a lot of description in there for me to go off of for you. And I am going to go ahead and choose the Sacred Rebels Oracle deck for you as the deck that I pull a card from to get some additional guidance and to drive the conversation forward. Right before the video, I was shuffling all the decks, and this card flipped over while I was shuffling this deck, which is Inner Trust. And what I'm hearing is that that card was not meant for you. It was meant for someone else that was in the hat today, and that your card is somewhere else. So I'm just going to do a quick, tiny little reshuffle just to kind of clear that energy. I think the Inner Trust was for the person I was talking to at the top of the video who's feeling sadness, who's known to me and is wanting to reach out, and a card just fell out of the deck. So when a card falls out, I consider that to be somebody's deck, or that card, not their deck. You know, not the whole deck, the single card is your card for today. So this is New Birth, Guarded Vigilantly. And you can see that the image is pretty dark, with the exception of the butterfly and this like tree or plant that's beginning to grow up. So New Birth, Guarded Vigilantly. I'm just peeking back at your message, Heather, to see how these go together. Because you're being asked to not only slow down, but get to a place where you can stop. And I think that with New Birth being guarded vigilantly, that birth, there we go. Okay, it came. So, birth is something that happens naturally. We don't have to do anything, whether it's a physical birth of a child or kind of in this image, a new plant that's growing or a butterfly that is transitioning. There's nothing that we need to do to make birth happen. Birth happens because we allow it. Regrowth happens because we just hang out and get out of the way pretty much, and things start to unfold. They start to develop and they start to grow. And so what I'm hearing to add on top of your message, Heather, is there's nothing that you need to do right now. And that's what that slow down part of your message is asking you to do. And to pay attention, because everything is right in front of you. You don't need to go scrambling around looking for the answers or looking for the solutions. It's all unfolding. And if you can just be easy about it, it's going to happen. I do want to pop just real quick into the guidebook for you with this card, Heather. And for those of you who haven't seen me use the guidebooks before, this deck and some of my other decks, the guidebooks have like 2 or even 3 pages of information for each card. And I love y'all and I love doing your readings. I do not love memorization all that much, and I'm not going to memorize everything for every card. But what works for me is I just quickly glance and the relevant information for you is going to jump up off of the page. So I'm going to dive in there and see what's relevant for you. And what it says is that it might be something within you, a new behavior, a new way of looking at yourself, or a new way of being in the world that you need to tend to until it becomes natural for you to embody. And that's sort of what this slow down and unfold and wait is all about. It's like if you just kind of continue, things are going to happen. Like there's nothing that needs to change. There's nothing you need to do differently. You don't need to fight and struggle with whatever this topic is. This is most significant if you have drawn Defend to the end. We did not draw Defend to the end, so never mind. But if there is something that you feel like you need to defend to the end, I'm hearing soften up about it, okay? There's something else in here that is relevant to you. Here it goes. This oracle brings particular guidance about keeping your inner sanctuary pure. Your inner sanctuary pure. This may be your room, a sacred place you visit, or your own body into which you retreat in relaxation and meditation. And what I heard right away when I said the part about keeping your inner sanctuary pure was more like your body. So are you a little bit frustrated with something about your body, your health, and or your weight? And that you feel like, I'm doing all the things, I'm doing all the things, I'm doing all the things. It's like, so keep doing all the things, right? You know how to nourish yourself. You know how to take care of your physical body, like through movement and also through meditation and prayer and those types of things. And so, again, it's like, just slow down and pay attention. It's all right there in front of you. It's all happening. It's all unfolding. It's almost like peace. Like peace be with you. And look for the bumblebees. Like, where are the bees? Have you been seeing a lot of bees lately? Or do you have like, I feel like I want to say you have like a purse or a keychain or something with a bee on it. And so you might even like really quickly search like what a bee spirit animal means. Because they're all over the place right now. Right? Oh my gosh, that's it, Heather. There are bees like everywhere. And you're like, oh, what is it with the bees? Okay. So pay attention the next time that happens and just notice, like, what were you thinking about or what were you feeling when those bees were cruising around? Because that's just there to help you sort of like wake up and pay attention to what's going on with you. And just peeking back again at your message, Heather, because it was so different from the types of messages that I receive that I feel like I keep wanting to look at it. And actually what I'm being urged to do right now is read it one more time and then just close. Okay, so there's not going to be anything beyond me just rereading your message for today. Okay, so it says, notice, listen, slow down, stop, pay attention. You're not seeing what is right in front of you. Now, allow this to happen. Allow this to unfold. We love you. Amen. All right, so that's today's message. In just a moment, I'm going to post a picture of the card so you guys can check that out. And again, if you have questions or comments, feel free to shoot them down here. If you were the person who is like, I'm freaking out right now, message me. If you're the person who's feeling really sad right now, message me. If you're a person who happens to feel really stuck or just sort of meh, message me and let's get you hooked up with your own customized reading. Or if you're just like curious and you want to know a little bit more, same thing. Comment, message me, whatever. I'm here for y'all. Thank you so much for tuning into today's free live intuitive reading. I'll be back next Monday with another one. And I think somewhere in this week there's going to be a universal card draw for everyone to start a new bundle of bonus channeled messages, so keep your eyes peeled for that one as well. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Have a beautiful rest of your Monday or whatever day it is you end up watching today's video. Thanks everyone. Namaste.